you saw the stories and those just horrible images of the campfire. And he thought to himself, I got to do something to not just help the people, but also the environment. And can I tell you, Ryan is 13 years old, and he was inspired by the campfire to do something about it. And Ryan joins us this morning. Ryan, good morning. I know he's there. There he is. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I don't know, at 13 years old, I think most of the rest of us probably listening this morning were focused on our schoolwork and, which boy or girl we thought was cute at the time. You, on the other hand, are trying to do good not only for the environment, but for people, and you're doing it through technology.
Yes, I am. Also, thank you for having me on this.
Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. It's my pleasure. So let's talk about, you're on vacation, right? I had your story right, that you were on vacation in Arizona with your family when you saw the images?
Yeah, so I was in Arizona in November of 2018 when suddenly on the TV I saw that there were devastating wildfires in California and the hills that were being burnt looked just like the hills that were behind my house. So I called my mom to ask if she was okay and she was. But then I wondered why we were thinking of traveling to other planets, but we still couldn't solve problems that were on our own planet. So then I looked into the current solutions and realized that all of the current solutions lack some timeliness of response, and that's how it took off.
Okay, most kids I don't think would have even thought about that and to put that correlation together because, we're going into space yet we can't take care of our own kind of thing. But this is what you do, right? You're a coder, you're a dreamer, you're an explorer. Is that what kind of fueled you as well? You seem like a person who probably asks a lot of questions and wants to find solutions.
Yeah, I always like to find the answer to something, and I don't ever really like to start something but never finish it. And it when I saw the statistics and numbers of how much damage was caused, how many homes were destroyed, how many buildings were destroyed, how many people were killed, and even how many animals were killed, plants and animals were killed, it's just devastating to me because I know that there's a way to solve these problems or help solve these problems, but right now there's just no one has found a way to do it. So I'm just trying to find a way to help find a solution to the problem.
Okay, so you are somebody who's very interested in AI, and you've come up with a way that you think is going to help find this solution?
So how my network works is a detector will detect the fires, and since all of my entire network is connected with mesh networking, my detector will send that information from detector to detector until eventually it reaches my mini meteorological station. And at my mini meteorological station, the information will be sent to my app, and at the mini meteorological station, it will also use machine learning to predict where the fire may grow using information such as wind speed, wind direction, soil moisture, and so on.
And then,
And all of that information will be then sent to my app, so firefighters know where to act on first on the fire, and also residents that are in the path of the fire can be notified to immediately evacuate.
so if people were to download your app on their phone, they get that notification that a fire was coming their way. The firefighters would be able to map kind of the direction of the fire, like you said, based on the weather conditions, and then also your detectors. Tell me more about those. Where would those be placed?
So my detectors are very robust since they don't need any infrastructure such as power and Wi-Fi. So they would be placed at high-risk locations where we believe a fire may start. For example, it could be around high-voltage equipment or in an area where there's a lot of dead shrubs, for example, where a fire could easily start.
And so you've already got funding for this, right?
Yes, I received a $10,000 grant first when I was in fifth grade, but that was not funding. I received a $1.7 million grant, a research grant funding from the Office of Naval Research.
So you won the TCS Ignite Innovation Student Challenge, and this was in 2019. Was that for this concept that you had come up with to combat wildfires?
Yes, this is for the same concept. Obviously, at the time, my project was a lot more simple. It wasn't as improved as it is now, but it was the same exact idea and the same project.
When you found out you got 1.7 million in funding from the Office of the Naval Research, did you know, I did it, I'm going to make a difference now that I've got the money backing my project?
I did feel a lot more confident that my project is going to work, but I never want to become cocky because you never know what might come your way. For example, there might be a problem that I can't find a way to go around and I might need assistance to help find a way. I'm not sure yet because it hasn't come yet. Obviously, after getting that $1.7 million, I feel a lot more confident, but I just don't want to get cocky at all.
You are amazing. All right, tell me where we are then in this process. What are you working on right now? What's the current status of the project?
So, as I have explained, my project, I worked on the detection of fires and the prediction of fires, but that's after the fire starts. So I'm wondering if there's any way that if there's a chance of me even preventing the fire from starting. So my idea is to have drones fly around, for example, high voltage equipment such as power lines, and take images or videos of the power line. And after being trained with machine learning, after being trained with a lot of data, it can use machine learning to predict how long it will be until this piece of high voltage equipment gets into a dangerous state, or if it is in a dangerous state currently. Because then you could have someone go and fix that high voltage equipment. Because we know that, well, we believe, actually, no, we know that the campfire of 2018 started from a spark of high voltage PG&E equipment, which then put PG&E into bankruptcy. So that would save the entire deal of having to even deal with the fires, and it would also save a lot of cost and lives, obviously, for both humans and animals alike.
All right, well, I am going to pick my chin up from off the desk this morning because I am awestruck by you, Ryan. This is incredible technology. I'm glad that you have the funding to push it forward, and it's young, bright minds like yours that are going to come up with the solutions that we need. And I am so impressed. Will you do me a favor that when you become president, will you remember me and maybe, put me in your cabinet or something like that?
I'll try like that.
Okay. You are awesome. All right, you guys, if you want to follow Ryan on social media, you can do it at Ryan Honorary, and his last name is Honary. Ryan Honorary on Facebook and Instagram. His website is ryanhonorary.com. Ryan, thanks again for your time this morning. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Hey, you too. See you later.
Thank you. See you.
Bye. Oh my gosh. What were you doing at 13? Was your vocabulary like that at 13? Did you understand cause and effect like that at 13? Were you thinking of ways to better wildlife prevention in your area when you were 13? Nope, me neither. Holy cow! Well, I feel like a big failure now. Thank God we've got KFI's Corbin Carson coming on, because he's done this big expose, wonderful piece that you've probably heard the promos running for. It's coming this weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 10, and it's called This Sand is My Sand, the Stolen Legacy of Bruce's Beach. Corbin's been following the story from the very start, and he got some incredible interviews from the family and the people responsible for helping get Bruce's Beach in Manhattan Beach back to the descendants of the Bruce family, which was taken from them in the early 1900s through eminent domain. Well, Corbin has a preview of his weekend special coming up. Let's take a look at your ride. Nick Pagliocchini, do you feel like a loser like I do right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling every bit 40 years old right now, and I'm not even there yet.
Oh, I'm pulling 46, and I'm like, what? I should just, my
At
foot's a grade.
13? Yeah, no. I mean, Ryan, thank you so much for all of your time and dedication, and hopefully making our futures look better and
I
brighter.
know.
But
And
yeah.
that's honestly, it's those kinds of interviews that make you go, okay. Sometimes when you hear all the bad in the world and everybody's just being horrible to each other, blah blah blah. You have one bright spot like that young man.
Yeah.
Come on, and all of a sudden you're like, faith restored.
Yeah, definitely one shining star in the darkness. So thank you again, Ryan, and look forward to seeing exactly where the future takes you, dude. Seriously, because that's nuts. Anyway, check in the drive den. On the westbound side of the 91, Riverside to Corona, as per usual, the Inland Empire is definitely where things are heating up for your morning drive. Coming away from Van Buren, 91 westbound as you make way past Green River, it's going to be a heavy stretch of slowing for the drive. And the 15 northbound getting in on the action. Coming away from Temesco Canyon, you'll see delays as you head toward those Lagos or Wyrick. Marina Valley, 215 north, it's going to be a rough go, but for you from Cactus as you make your way out of Marina Valley, passing the bridge of the 60 toward UCR and the 60 west Marina Valley portion, busy from Hecon toward the 215 merge. Also starting to see a few delays for you on the 10 as you get out of Bloomington to Fontana, coming away from Cedar. Looks like that's going to be about busy as you make way toward about Cherry. And the 60 westbound through Ontario off the 15 as you head toward Haven. Busy for your drive. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Pagliocchini.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. You know, with energy costs rising and temps getting warmer and electric vehicles here to stay, I can't believe how many homes still don't have solar. Now, granted, there's a lot of misinformation out there, so my solar company, Sunlux, asked me to clear some of it up. First, solar doesn't cost you money. It saves you money. A lot of money. Second, it doesn't matter where your panels are made. What matters is who makes them. And finally, you hear about some system out there for $29.95, but that is not what is going to end up on your home. You know, it means something to me that all the partners at Sunlux left top-tier positions at other solar companies. Why? To do solar better. It's why Sunlux is an LG and Tesla Platinum contractor. The best systems, the best battery solutions, the best service, the best warranty, and a solar company who is straight with you from day one. Hey, it's time for solar. Get started today at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com, sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
SoCal weather from KFI. It's a cloudy day ahead with even a slight chance of rain this evening. Probably there's a chance of a sprinkle earlier in the day, but the better chance comes later this afternoon into the evening. So highs at the coast will be in the mid-60s. We'll just make it to the mid to upper 70s inland. And like I said, that chance of rain, though, should taper off by tomorrow. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
In need of a vacation? Your Catalina Island experience awaits. And now for a limited time, stay 3 nights for the price of 2 at any Catalina Island company property. Book your next vacation at visitcatalinaisland.com. That's visitcatalinaisland.com. Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum loan amount requirements apply. 50% loan to value and 740 FICO credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law License number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Unbelievable. Home loan rates have dropped again at IntelliLoan. Today, IntelliLoan is offering a 1.875% rate in the APR with no points and no lender fees. Did you hear that? A 1.875%. Don't think you qualify? I bet you haven't called IntelliLoan. You don't have to have perfect credit to get this great home loan. So lock in this unbelievably low 1.875% fixed rate in APR with no points and no lender fees. So call IntelliLoan before the rates go up. Call them at 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200. Or just go to IntelliLoan.com.
IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
Here's what you need to know about the Pfizer COVID-19 booster. Not everyone needs one. Those who should receive a booster are 65 and older, long-term care residents, and those 50 to 64 with underlying medical conditions. Consider a booster if you're 18 to 49 with underlying medical conditions, or 18 to 64 with a high risk of COVID exposure at work. Only get a booster if it's been at least 6 months since you received your second dose of Pfizer. Find a booster near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
At Glitter, golden to be, call Jacob and Molly. Call Jacob.
Live and local.
Our radio station.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Welcome to a Thursday. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A COVID-19 vaccine requirement will start being enforced for most indoor spaces in the city of LA next month. City Council approved the ordinance yesterday, and Mayor Garcetti signed it hours later. Proof of full vaccination will be required to enter indoor restaurants, bars, gyms, shopping centers, entertainment venues, and personal care businesses. And that school safety officer in Long Beach who shot an 18-year-old woman who was in a car leaving a fight has been fired. Superintendent Jill Baker says an internal review found the officer violated the district's use of force policy. A lawyer for the family says that the woman was taken off life support this week after being declared brain dead. Her organs have been donated to 5 people. News is brought to you by American Vision Windows. 5:35, even after a pandemic, we Americans just love our jeans. We pick right back up where we were with our shopping habits. So I'll tell you what Levi's is reporting when it comes to earnings. GM says it's got a way to double its revenue with just one switch. Just change one little thing. Now, granted, it's a big switch. And before you go trick-or-treating this year, you may want to go earlier in the day out Christmas shopping. Oh, what a mess. I'll explain why in your Biz Bites coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, let's talk with KFI's Corbin Carson. You probably heard the promos running about the 2-hour special that Corbin's airing this weekend on Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 10 p.m. It's called This Sand is My Sand, the stolen legacy of Bruce's Beach. Corbin joins us now to tell us more about this special. Corbin, good morning. So give us the backstory first of Charles and Willa Bruce.
So Charles and Willa Bruce were the original owners of Bruce's Beach. This was a piece of property in Manhattan Beach that they bought in 1912 for $1,225. And it's the week they bought it, they were harassed. There were people trying to push them off the land. And eventually, an area of the ocean was roped off. There was burning cross. There was mattresses burning. And then there were threats from the KKK. This existed for about 10 years, so about 1924, when a realtor decided, hey, we can't get these black beachgoers out of here. Let's try eminent domain. He found a little hidden rule that for a civic park, to try to put a civic park there that they could have the legality to take people off that land. And so what they ended up doing is they declared the land, they used eminent domain to get the people off the land. It wasn't just the Bruces at that time. It was about 6 other black families and then 10 other or so lots of land that were owned by others, but there was no development on those. So eventually they lost that land. The park was not built until the 50s, and the history was kind of quietly bandied about. And then the park wasn't renamed for Bruce's Beach until the early 2000s. And fast forward until the death of George Floyd, there is a poet activist named Kevon Ward, who started this movement called Justice for Bruce's Beach, and it kind of rode the wave of protest and this racial discussion that was going on in the country. And she was demanding that there be some justice, obviously, and then there was this idea to return the land, and that's where the whole story gets really interesting after that, where at this point the LA County has, looks like every intention of returning that land.
Okay, so and let's go into that portion of it. So once this movement gets started, how do you change what is now a piece of the state or the property of the state? How did they even go about this, and how was the family confident in the beginning that they'd be able to get this beach back?
No. This was a surprise to the family. During the special, which again is called "This Sand Is My Sand: The Stolen Legacy of Bruce's Beach," it'll be playing this weekend. We talked to the family, we talked to Manhattan Beach, we talked to historians, and initially, when this all kicked off with the protesters, there were people that were demanding this kind of restitution, but the city was kind of, balking and discussing how they were going to handle it. But then it turns out that this plot of land was owned by LA County, and LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn was the first actual public official to come out and say, let's just give the land back. It turns out that there's a lifeguard facility on that land, so they couldn't just immediately give it back. It was transferred to the state decades ago, and then the state transferred it back to the county, but it came with restrictions that you couldn't sell it for like a public good. It had to be used for public uses. And then so Janice Hahn went to Senator Steve Bradford. Bradford introduced legislation to remove those restrictions, to kind of work on some tax implications so that it would free up LA County to give back the land. And then last week, Governor Newsom signed that bill. It had already sailed through the Assembly and the Senate unanimously, no votes. And that's where they're at right now. They have maybe a few more months, maybe several more months. I think the earliest that Supervisor Hahn told me during the special, you'll hear that, is that she's hoping for Juneteenth of 2022 to have all the final local legalities worked out to give this land back.
Oh, what a date. Okay, so when the Bruce family, when Governor Newsom signed this legislation and he commented, I'm paraphrasing, but this could be the start of how reparations in California could look. Did the Bruce family, the descendants, did they ever imagine that just trying to get back a piece of land that was rightfully theirs could be so impactful on the future?
No, and that was a big question that I wanted to ask. There's a couple of people that are the main speakers in the special that you'll hear from. One is the family historian. The other is the great-great-grandson of Charles and Willa Bruce. His name is Anthony Bruce. And I spoke to him several times, both when we were starting this whole story off, and then again last week, right after the event, I met his family. They were sitting down for lunch and kind of talked to get his reaction to signing it, and asked him, did you ever think that you'd be part of this movement? And he was kind of saying, no, I'm just a normal person. He lives in Florida. He rides the bus to work, and now he's looking at getting some $73 million estimated property, returned to him. And it's important that several of them say it's not being given to them, it's being returned. That was the kind of the push that it was stolen. But no, he says it feels, he's honored to be part of, this bigger movement on what is going on as a national discussion about race. And listen, one of the things we talk about in the special is with the city, with Manhattan Beach, there was this question about an apology. Should the city apologize? The city created this Bruce's Beach task force. They had several things to talk about. One was to verify the exact history, and then to come up with a few other small, get the community engaged, some artwork, etc., and then to draft an apology. And after weeks of hours-long, heated city council meetings, the council eventually votes not to apologize. And this, as you can imagine, creates this huge storm of controversy about it. And I won't get into that. You have to get into the special to hear, what the city's reasoning was for that and kind of the response. But I will give you, if we could just play one part. This is Anthony Bruce. He's responding to the idea that the city does not want to apologize to his family for what has been confirmed by the city task force, racism that pushed these people off this land.
It doesn't cost anything to apologize to somebody for something that has happened to them. Even if it's just to show sympathy, that would be enough. I'm not looking for an apology. Our family's not looking for an apology. We want justice. But I look at it like if somebody passed away and you just told that person who was related to that person who passed away, hey, I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, that's just sympathetic. To ask for the forgiveness, it's at least initiate some kind of response on their part so that they're accepting or at least willing to accept change.
That's pretty powerful. Because I mean, what to me, what he's intimating is, yeah, of course, the giving back the land is huge, but to have that emotional sentiment attached to it of not necessarily an I'm sorry, but I see what was done in the past and just sort of a recognition, I guess, of the wrongdoing.
And that was so interesting as to why there was a vote not to apologize. And again, I talked to the mayor of Manhattan Beach, and she talked about why. She was saying that there were some legal ramifications in her opinion, even though there were people that said there's insurance for that, even including on the city council. But, you know, one of the interesting things is that when the governor spoke, you have all these people speaking, but when the governor spoke at Beach Beach last week, signing this bill, the very first thing he said is, I don't know what the deal is with Manhattan Beach, but let me, as the governor of this state, apologize for the injustice that happened to the Beach family. And that is, you know, it was just a powerful moment, regardless of the thought of giving back the land or not giving back the land, but just for a country that's still trying to look at itself in the mirror at its history from the 1900s and say, hey, this was wrong.
Well, I know you can't give away all the products to say on the call, but give people just a little where they can hear it this weekend, what the series is going to be like to set us up.
Yeah, so 8 to 10 on Saturday, then there'll be an encore presentation 8 to 10 on Sunday, and you know, one more thing, you know, if you could get into that real quick, another person I spoke to for a national perspective was I tracked down this professor who is at Columbia Journalism, the School of Journalism currently, and she did an 18-month report in 2001 that documented 107 land takings through the 1900s, 406 black landowners, you know, a couple dozen thousand acres of farm and timberland. And I asked her here in this little bit, she was talking about the saddest part of Bruce's Beach was that they wound up cooking in someone else's kitchen, but she says returning the land does make a difference.
But it opens the door. It precedent. It sends a strong message so that the thousands and hundreds of thousands of acres of land that were taken from Black Americans, one day there might be justice. I personally don't hold my breath, but one day I'm hopeful.
Yeah, so it really just explores a lot of the history that's going on with this country that really needs to be taken a look at.
Corbin, this is a really important special, and I hope that people are able to tune in. This is Saturday night and Sunday night, 8 to 10, for, it's in a number of parts, right? I mean, you've got all different aspects and angles and interviews over those 2 hours.
Yeah, there's 8 parts. It's called This Sand Is My Sand, the Stolen Legacy of Bruce's Beach. And again, yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Well, congratulations.